What's going on, Jerome's? Now, it's easy to be dour and snarky after the Vikings made the Lions no longer the winless Detroit Lions, but even at 5-7, the NFC has been pretty rough this season, and the Vikings are still in this friggin' thing where at a certain point, you're trying to balance things. You obviously want your team to win and do well, get in the dance, get healthy. Who really knows what could happen? Because the Vikings still are the only team in the league who have not been blown out. They've led in every single one of their 12 games by at least 6 points. And, you know, keeping Skull alive, sure, but does it also keep Zimmer in a job? I think that die is cast. Like, barring the Vikings turning it around, making the Super Bowl, or a minimum the NFC title game, I think Zimmer's just going to be gone. Like, even the Vikings rally up, which they certainly can. They have a 28% chance to make the playoffs per 538. We'll get into that in a sec. And if they do make it, and even if they win a playoff game, I still think that ownership is like, we've been embarrassed on the national stage. And so, yes, Vikings currently in the 9th spot in the NFC, trailing the Eagles at 8, as well as the Niners currently in the final playoff spot. They lost at Seattle. By the way, that Niners-Seattle game was drunk. Like multiple bounce interceptions and fumbles, and had a punt return for a touchdown and blocked stuff. It was great. Washington is chilling at 6, and that's really about it. That's really about all that's going on. Panthers at 10. Vikings have the head-to-head. Falcons at 11, and the Saints are at 12. The Vikings have the conference tiebreaker, better record in conference over the Falcons and the Saints. So it's a mess. It's a logjam. Basically, the Vikings have to win out. They have to go 10-7, maybe 9-8 if certain stuff is a mess. But are you banking on it? Because look at the Viking schedule. Pull up and enhance schedule. So you got the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. You're feeling pretty good about that. I mean, even though the Steelers sort of had a dead cat bounce against the Ravens, they were at home. But I respect John Harbaugh for going for 2 in the win there. So you got the Steelers at home. Vikings open as 4 or 3.5 point favorites, which is odd, right? Considering how the last couple of games have gone for the Vikings. But that's whatever. Say the Vikings hold serve at home. Okay, get it done. Woosah. Beat the Steelers on Thursday Night Football, and then you have a long layoff until Monday Night Football against the Bears, Week 15. It's a very winnable game. So the Vikings can square up at 7-7, and then the final 3 games, 2 out of 3 look a little tough. You're going to be home day after Christmas, Boxing Day against the Rams. Hopefully, speaking of Boxing Day, hopefully you can throw hands on the stupid Rams, who apparently all in. Hey, don't worry. The season is saved because they beat the Jaguars at home. Cool. And then you got the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers Sunday Night Football, even though that could certainly get flexed out up at Lambeau Field. Bring it day after New Year's. And then you have the Bears on January 9th. So the Vikings, they have to win out, or at minimum they have to go 4-1. And mathematically, if they're going to lose a game, it should be against Pittsburgh, since it's out of conference, and the conference game's way heavier in terms of, well, they weigh only in terms of the conference tiebreaker. So if the Vikings end up at 9-8, but their losses to the Steelers, but they beat the Bears twice, they beat the Rams, and they beat the Packers somehow, you could be okay. You could be in okay shape. Now, of course, going 10-7 is the easy route. And just looking back at this stupid schedule, man, it's just so frustrating. This Lions game, obvious. The Niners game, obvious. The Ravens game, obvious. The Cowboys game, yes. The Browns game, no call, no show. And then the first 2 games, you were a chip shot field goal away from beating the current 1 seed in the NFC, man. I mean, come on. That's what's so damn frustrating about this team, is that breathe. So playoffs, playa. So the Vikings are currently 28%. Now, if we can just zoom in and enhance. This is a good pod right here. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, I have to scroll to the bottom because the Vikings are at the bottom. So the Vikings are 28% to make the playoffs. They have a 0.4% chance to win the division, which, you know, that's a super quadruple DUI, whatever. So say the Vikings beat the Steelers, and then that jumps up to 36%. So say the Vikings square up at 7-7. So they beat the Bears. This is happening off screen. Maybe I should. There's better ways to do this. I'm professional. No. Nailed it. So the Vikings win 2 in a row, which they certainly can do. They're probably going to be favorites in Chicago on Monday Night Football as well. So if they take care of business, these next 2 games, which, yes, they should have the last 2 games, but what can you do? So squaring up at 7-7, 50-50 with crystal ball, 51% chance to make the playoffs. Say you beat the Rams. Ooh, that gets pretty sexy. That's good. That gets pretty damn sexy. And then say you beat Green Bay and you beat Chicago. So 10-7. Barring the not factoring in these other results, but if you win out, you have over a 99% chance to make the playoffs, not even factoring in the other games. So now let's go back and talk about our AFC thing here. So say the Vikings lose to the Steelers. They're still going to have a 90% chance to make the playoffs. But say they drop one against the Rams. So you see, even though it's the same record at 9-8, the Vikings were 91% to make the playoffs if they lost to the Steelers. But if they drop a conference game against the Rams or the Bears or the Packers, whatever, then that drops their playoff chances by 20%. So that's kind of a big deal. So this is almost making the argument that they have the green light to lose to the Steelers. That's obviously not what we're saying. Every single game is a playoff game. Like, if the Vikings can somehow magically get healed up and make things happen, they can't lose a game. Like, they really can't. I don't want to be scoreboard watching. I don't want to be looking at Washington or the Eagles or the Niners like, oh, I hope that they lose. It's too much energy. It's too much bandwidth here. Just beat the Steelers on Thursday. Beat the Bears' ass on Monday Night Football, and then, baby, you got Stu going. And then the day after Christmas, on the day after Christmas, my Vikings gave to me, the Rams, sucking ass always. Matthew Stafford coming to U.S. Bank Stadium. He's got bad memories here, man. Sack him 10 times again, even though we don't have a pass rush, even though we can't cover anyone. Can't do it. But even though it kind of hurts being the optimist of Vikings media landia, even though I don't consider myself part of the media, but they can still do it. As taxing as the last 2 weeks have been, just giving away against San Francisco and obviously just giving away against the Lions, they can still do this. If they can just get a skosh of health luck. Can we get Kendricks back? Can we get Dalvin back? Can we get Thielen back? I mean, can Thielen even play on Thursday night? It's frustrating, man. But what are your thoughts on our thoughts? Are we crazy? Should they just lose out? I don't know. But let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.